The movie is about Great Britain and their chieftaincy title, their monarchy, the the social status and positions and stuff. Yeah, we have the themes in the movie which are grief, romance, mental health, marriage, love, loneliness, and misogyny. Misogyny in the I hope you know what I'm hoping. I'm hoping that Britain is not like that in the real sense because their misogyny is like like it oh, shit. And it is this movie is similar to Bridgerton, but it's not the same. But I think there's a little connect. There's something that connects it to um to Bridgerton, but I'll find out. But right now I think they are different, but they have similar. You know. So I was so pissed when I was watching, I won't lie. But it was a feel good movie at the same time. Because I mean, I love Charlotte. Charlotte is like my bookie and George too. So it wasn't that bad. But there's the plot of patriarchy. How that women were in that movie were not respected in society if they were not related to a man or married to a man. Do you understand? There's patriarchy, there's misogyny. That's the shame reserved for women. You know, the women who, like every woman in that movie, like there was some kind of shame reserved to them. Men are without fault. And you know something I noticed that in British movies like that, we see that there's a there's a plot that is, or should I say, there's, I don't know, a notion that is consciously or unconsciously being promoted where a woman has to endure whatever, whoever or whatever the man is to show that she loves him. So in this case, we see that Charlotte, a 17-year-old girl married to George, the king, and she was married, like they literally uprooted her from her father's um stead, and they took her to George's palace, and she was married off to him. She didn't know him. She didn't know him at all. Like she didn't know who the fuck. She has not even seen just a picture of him, and she kept asking people, "Who is he? Who is he?" They didn't tell her, "Wait, oh, this is who he is. This is not who he is," or something like that. So we find it that later in the movie, George had a mental health problem that is very difficult. Like he's mad. I don't know if you understand. Like he has mental disorder. Thank you. Mental disorder. And in the movie, we saw that she endured and basically forced him to love her. Should I say forced him to love her, or to basically made him man up to defend their love? And I don't like that notion, I won't lie. Because men are, you is a fool. He's a full grown man. If he would, why not? Just Charlotte went through a lot, Sha. Charlotte went through a whole fucking lot. And we also showed that George as a character, yeah. I wouldn't say, again, I didn't want to say he had mental disorder because I believe that what he has is social anxiety. But his own is like the highest form. Like, do you understand? Because again, he was born into, like he was brought up to become a king, everything. And is socially anxious people don't like crowds. We like to hide away from people. And him having to constantly, face the crowd as a child and stuff, being addressed as a king, the whole facade and everything could make someone go crazy, for real. Especially someone that is not built for, that. So, but he went through a lot. He went through a lot, and At some point in the movie, I had to like feel some kind of pity for him because really it was a lot. Now let's talk about the queen. That woman again. She's her character is sneaky. She could very much pass as a villain, and she could also be, some people could think that she was a victim because again she led the same life that Charlotte led. She got married to her husband, had 11 kids, and her having to she basically like she was the king because her husband has mental issue. There's no way he can make any decision or be there as the king. Or do you understand? She was the king, but every I don't know, every adoration was given to her husband. She was just like, how they say, oh, behind a successful man there's a woman. It's okay, but you see that in that age we most likely don't hear, oh, behind a successful woman there's a man. People don't say that frequently like they said the other one, meaning that society believes that women should be behind the do you understand, like you should be eating, you should do the background, or you should hide yourself and your talent and the things that you can do. And she was so good in that movie, especially that she had to like face the parliament, keep things in order, bro. Because in the movie, in the beginning, actually I didn't like her. I was like, oh god, she's doing too much. But girl, the responsibilities that she was shouldering as the queen herself, and also being the king, is like something that should be applauded. Like Queen Charlotte, oh my god. Because I'm just putting myself in her position. I will be crazier than my husband. Have you seen those kids? Especially the ones that are unserious with their lives. She's trying to force them to marry. Again, the responsibility of having to be a king or a queen is not something to like underrate, especially how it was portrayed in that movie. So we see that even our own personal like needs were not met, because basically her husband is mad, he can't do shit, he can't be there for her. So she had to like man up before the parliament. Lord Bute was on her neck. She's trying to get her son to marry, she's trying to manage her son's illness. She's, oh my god, again. And she was so underrated. She was so underrated. And I like how that she was there, like the way she murdered Lady Danbury. I mean the young one. That again, there's a theme. There's That's why I said misogyny was like a heavy like plot in that movie. I don't know if it's plot, but yeah, because there's misogyny, then there's grooming too. Lady Danbury was groomed. I feel like Queen Charlotte too is too young to be married, too young to be betrothed or something. Because Queen Lady Danbury was like 13 when she married that stupid horrid old man. And we saw how, you see, when we talk about the impacts of grooming on the girl child, people feel like, oh, they are just being dramatic. It is, these things are real. Look at how she had to like the things that he likes, do the things he wants, be where he wants, seek his validation. Oh shit, he literally, he was his presence and his life was so overwhelming for her that when he died, she didn't know how to, like, she didn't know who she was. She had that point in her life where she was just like existing, because she basically, she doesn't know who she even told that Eja Edward that that is dead, that is all she's known, she's always around him, and now that he's dead she feels new, basically useless, basically. Because what do you mean that, do you understand? And how that she had to fight, cry, and beg so that his position be transferred to her son. Because again, in that setting, it was like proven that women cannot be respected or like appreciated in society if they are not related to a man. That means they have to be married or have a son or something, but marriage is more like ranked higher. Do you understand? And it was like really weird for me, because I'm like, then we have, yeah, Lady Danbury. She went through hell. She, yes, and there was classism and colorism. We saw that when, in the process, when Queen Charlotte, the older one, and the young one came, met themselves, and she was like, oh, she's brown, people would talk. There's classism too, because apparently Lady Danbury and her oldest husband, the one that died, they were not allowed into to organize balls, to like participate in turns, parties, and whatnot, because of their skin color. So there's an heavy presence of colorism and classism at play. And it wasn't, I wouldn't even say classism was that much of a thing like colorism, because again, it was said that Lady Danbury husband is like from the family of a king too, like in their, do you understand, in their, what they call it, they used to be kings. But Lady Danbury, yes, but they were still not allowed to participate in the activities and social, interactions that the whites partook in. And it wasn't a thing of, oh, they have, the whites are, in fact, they had more money than some of the whites. So it wasn't a money thing, it was a skin color thing. And I like that, actually. Oh, now another thing I like about the series is that the heavy, the Brimsley and Monroe's relationship, their sexual relationship is like, at first, in the beginning, I was quite scared that, hey, Jesus, they are going to catch them. If they catch them, they'll, but I know, oh my god, I that was like really beautiful for me, because they had phases in their relationship. That point where Monroe was being secretive with the king, which is quite understandable, and it was being discreet until they came to a point and started working together. And oh my god, their own love story is like, wow. And yeah, there's Lady Agatha and Lady Violet. Lady Violet is the one that had a loving husband that but later died, and Lady Agatha is the one that her husband, she didn't really experience love or sex before, until her husband passed, and their friendship was very beautiful. And I feel like every woman should covet that kind of a friendship, because I mean, they are free enough to talk about needs without shame. Because I mean, the first time Lady Violet was able to open up about her needs as a woman, she was very shy. It was with time that Lady Agatha was able to prove to us that, see, there's no need to be shameful, get someone, do this. And it's beautiful to see. Like, it's like, I love that. And yeah, Queen Charlotte is a beautiful, like, I love it. The writer, chef's kiss, they ate to the T. And yeah, I think you should watch it. It's a feel good movie. You barely, there's nothing, there's no, is there anything tragic? I don't think there's anything tragic. In fact, I'm going to watch it again after like 5 times more. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. So thank you so much. And yes, there's heavy sex coitus scenes there. So yeah, it's good. But I really enjoyed the movie and I think you should watch it too. Please like this video, drop a lovely comment. What do you think about Queen Charlotte? But the misogyny was like did anybody see how that Lady Danbury's that old man was it was, those scenes were like, I used to forward it because it was like a horrible sight. It was like, what that is, he didn't care because the way he was doing it, her head was eating the wardrobe. It was like that, and and she was just there like a statue, and she was like, I'm like, girl, that is like, what do you mean? That, especially that every time he does it, it's like the same scene. It's like she's just waiting for it to be over, and once it's over, we just pluck out his teeth and yeah. I say she's a strong woman and she's better than me. If I had that husband, I swear I will poison him. Oh my fucking god. And you know how that he overrates himself, and I don't even blame him, because again, misogyny give you liver. Because what do you mean? Yeah, they are doing all this because of me. Mind you, is his wife that is literally having free access to the palace, to the queen and stuff. What do you mean? That scene, those scenes were like, ew, take it away from me. Because he's like that merciless, emotionless, doesn't care, doesn't give a fuck, and she's just waiting for it to be over. That's like a horrible. It was like, please, let's wrap up, please. Tell me what you think. I want to hear it. Do you think I'm wrong on some takes? Let me know. Drop a lovely comment, like, share, subscribe, and turn on your notification bell. Bye for now.